You read that correctly. I made a Moog Matriarch clone with Eurorack modules. Why? Because I'm always sequencing the Matriarch with Ableton and then being like, well, I want a second track of the Matriarch, and I don't want to buy another Matriarch. So here it is. We got the Pam's new workout, which substitutes as the arpeggio or arpeggiator and sequencer of the Matriarch. You already know all about that, so no point in talking about it, except that it is currently clocking Ableton. And if I stopped it right now, it would stop recording my voice. So I'm not going to prove that. Next to it is the Instruo Saïch, which is 4 sawtooth oscillators, which roughly matches up to what the Matriarch has, which is, they have four oscillators that has various wave shapes. Sawtooth is one of them. I wish the Saïch was more versatile, but it is what it is for now. It has an expander on the back, so maybe alternate wave shapes are to come. I'm hoping for it. Next, the Quadrax is like the function generator. This basically matches up to the 2 envelopes here. So the Matriarch has ADSR envelopes, but the Quadrax, the top one I'm using, just an AD envelope, and then the second one is an AHR, H being hold envelope. And then it also is providing 2 LFOs. The first one is just a burst generator that's being triggered by Pam's. You can see by the light there, and from listening to it, you can hear kind of how it's modulating the reverb on this module here. And then finally is like a unipolar LFO. Both of those match up to this more complex LFO that the Matriarch has, and then this very simple like triangle square LFO over here. And then next to that is what makes it super matriarchy, is a Casper Bastl Ikarie stereo filter. It has kind of similar features to that of the filter on the Matriarch, in that it's stereo, has like spacing and pan and spread and all that stuff, so that's pretty cool. And if you take it to the right in the positive direction, it turns into a high pass filter. But you know I'm always on that low pass. And then next to it is the Instruo Arbhar, which is just totally its own thing. Let me turn this up actually a little bit. It's currently only being used as the reverb, but now I'm blending in the granular samples that it's been taking as I've been talking. Yeah, this thing is kind of like, you can use this as an oscillator all on its own. It has a pitch control here. You can do what I'm doing now, which is just trigger the record buffer to start recording every now and then. It's not timed, it's triggered based on some complex audio source, but yeah, it kind of moves along with whatever arpeggio or sequence is coming into it, because you can record clips of it and then kind of jump around in those clips. Next to it is the Mutable Instruments Veils, the 2020 edition. Right now I'm just using it as a mixer to go into the Arbhar, and I don't think this channel is actually being used right now. I think this is just a leftover from an earlier version of this patch where... Oh no, it is being used. So what's that doing then? Sometimes you gotta trace this back. That is... Okay, that's controlling the vol per octave on the filter, so that's why we hear the filter moving more now. This little 2 HP expander right here, that is... that's for modulation of the Arbhar, actually. It's associated with that. I just placed it here so that it could be next to the Scion, which is a random voltage generator. And you notice that that's hooked up to my snake plant right here. This is the whole module. This is the whole discussion in itself, so I'll just leave it at that. But all 8 of the modulation outputs are connected to something in this patch. That's why it's very generative and kind of going off and doing its own thing. And then finally, the module that I just received yesterday to kind of finish this whole fake Matriarch is the Make Noise Mimeophon, which was doing 100% dry a moment ago. Now we're listening to some of the repeat mix. This also has a reverb on it that's being modulated. It's kind of cool to go between two reverbs. I was thinking at first it might be, well, I can't even say it, too many time effects, not possible. Reverb, delay, echo, granular synthesis, that's like the bread and butter of cool music. Generative and rhythmic music, which a lot of, not generative specifically, but rhythmic based music, which is kind of the stuff that I've been getting into recently, like techno and ambient, not focused so much on tone, but focused on rhythm. And then finally we have the Quadratt, which is just a 4-channel attenuverter. I'm just using it as a mixer right now, which leads me to the downfalls and where I wish I had done something different with this system. So I kind of already made amends for this because I ordered a 84 HP 7U Intellijel performance case to move this into and kind of expand and have more room. A lot of these module choices, these are huge modules, like the Arbhar, the Saïch. I mean, even the Scion takes a lot of space. The Mimeophon is larger than normal. So it's not really conducive for like a tiny palette. It's not really conducive for a palette case at all. But this is what I got because this is what was in stock at the time, and then I saw an 84 go up on Reverb, so I got that instantly. But the reason that I need more space is because I feel like using the attenuverter or the veils as a mixer is just a total waste of like what they can actually do. So I ordered a steady state stereo mixer. If you don't know what that is, it looks pretty sick. I've never been excited about a mixer before, but it has a lot of like limiting and compression and analog goodness and saturation. So that should be perfect for. It has 3 stereo inputs. So basically, I'm going to have the Ikarie, because this is stereo out, the Arbhar stereo out, and then the Mimeophon stereo out going into that. And then it has 4 controllable mono channels and then 2 auxiliary mono channels. So for anything else, any other voices that I add to it, for example, the Similis Iteratus Alter I have and I'm going to add to it, that'll just go direct into the mixer as a mono signal with these 3 coming in as stereo. So I think that'll be a lot more useful and free both of these modules up to be used for like how they actually should be. What else? Sometimes I feel like the Arbhar needs a filter in front of it. I do have a Doper A105 filter, so I'm going to include that in the case for the time being. We'll just put that right in front of the Arbhar so I can like trim off some of the highs when need be. Other than that, maybe another modulation source, like an Oct by Instruo that has the 8 LFOs, but the Scion is kind of doing a pretty good job of being a random modulator, so I might just explore that more. That's basically it. Is the mixer is the main thing that I feel like I'm missing from this setup, and like an additional voice, like I said. Let me know what you think about these module choices, and if maybe there's something that I overlooked that, because I'm new to Eurorack, so I don't really. Sometimes I find things that I never even seen a picture of before. For example, like the Steady State Fate Vortices was on the Control Mod website in Brooklyn. It was on their website for like a month, and I just like passed it over every day. because it didn't seem interesting, or it seemed like, you know, it's just a mixer. But mixers are cooler in Eurorack than in real life. So let me know if you can think of anything that would be sick for this setup. I do have a 1U Ornament in Crime coming in the mail, or whenever that's released, late January, I guess. So that will be an additional modulation source, so maybe that'll deal with my concern about not having enough LFOs and stuff. And I plan to get either I forgot the company, I think it's Industrial, can't remember, but they make the Piston Honda and the other one, the Hertz Donut. One of those seems really sick for this setup, especially with the ability to save a preset on it. That way you can kind of have this like preset sound for like live sets. You can kind of have this preset thing going on. You can also load presets into the Instruo Arbhar. So you can kind of have two things that are preset and then just like on the fly be messing with everything else. So kind of planning for this to be like a live performance setup. And yeah, that's basically it. Really do leave me suggestions if you can about my module choice or what I should have, you know, what your take on what I chose was. That's not just a YouTube thing. I'm actually kind of interested to know if there's something out there that would have fit my purposes better, because you can always resell stuff, as you synth fienders know. But yeah, what else did I want to say? Oh, right. I post on YouTube a couple times a week, but I post on Instagram every day, like multiple times a day. Not going to blow up your feed, but I mean on stories and stuff. So if you want to follow me there, then you can get more of this content if you like it. So yeah, start talking at me.